Today is Monday, March 23rd, 2026. Of course, today we went down to Dutch Valley Restaurant. Okay. And sure enough, there's a Florida plate sitting out there. The get out of my vehicle, starts laughing real loud. Okay. Lying her ass off. Lying her ass off. Saying something to the fact of, my dad told Agent John how to do it and bring it to the judge where he bullied me online. So the judge would just go ahead and sign it even though it's illegal. Now think of that statement. And it was worded that we get all the money. I didn't even know you existed. Why would you get it? See how they're lying to manipulate people? Lying. Now, if something's illegal, can a judge sign it? Not without going to jail as an accessory. That's how dumb people are acting. Okay? That's how dumb they're acting. When you stop letting the Florida drug cartel, Judge Peter's group, fool you because they think you're all fucking stupid and they're scamming you. Okay. You know, I've done tapes and I went over the laws and then how stupid their scam is. And how pathetically stupid it is. And how retards came up with this. They don't know the law from a hole in their asshole from a hole in the ground. They wouldn't know which one to wipe. They're so stupid. Okay? I want you to think about this. It is a federal crime for an agent to tell on you for calling for help. Right? It is illegal and a federal crime for an agent to call you a liar and bully you into false statements under threats. It is badgering, obstruction of justice, and tampering with a witness. It's 20 years. Okay? They can't go along with crimes. That's aiding and abetting. They cannot what? Turn you back over to the people that are harming you or drug cartel or drug dealers. It can be considered an attempt to murder, 20 to 30 years. An FBI agent cannot tell a victim, a witness, or an informant they can't say anything. It's a freedom of speech. Only a judge in a jury trial during the proceedings can put a gag order on you. FBI agents are only higher federal police officers, and they're only police. It takes a judge in a jury trial. So if an FBI agent tells a victim, a witness, or informant they can't say anything, it's considered blackmail. They're blackmailing that person into being quiet. And it is 20 to 30 years. Can a judge sign blackmail against someone? Not without going to jail. 14th Amendment in the Constitution states that you cannot withhold any protection from any U.S. citizen in any jurisdiction. If an FBI agent tries to tell the police or anybody else they can't help someone, they are to be arrested. It can even go into attempted murder, obstruction, and tampering with a witness, and abuse of authority. All right. 14th Amendment also states that no money, no assets can be seized, but due process of the law. You have to be sued and found guilty. And then the 7th or 8th Amendment in the Constitution states that only money or assets can be awarded per documented injury, per set amount, by an impartial jury only, not a judge. First Amendment, freedom of speech. Only a judge in like a jury trial can put a gag order on you during the proceedings of the jury trial, and then you can say whatever you want. No one else can put a gag order on you. No one. This is the United States of America. Fourth Amendment. Okay, the right of privacy. The right of the people to be safe and secure within your own person. Nobody can touch you unless you want them to. It's assault. We all know that. Your places, your homes, your papers, and effects against all unreasonable searches or seizures shall not be violated. Home can't be violated. No searches, no seizures, but upon probable cause warranted, with an oath or affirmation of the people, places, or things to be searched or seized. You have to have a court order. You also, the Fifth Amendment, you have a right to remain quiet and not incriminate yourself. Then you got the Sixth Amendment, a right to attorney to represent you. You also have a right to a fair court trial. Fair court trial, bail and bond. Now think of their scam. And because of the Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth Amendment, police and agencies only under a threat of life with statements and a court order can be in your home. Under a threat of life with statements and a court order. Nobody else. Then there's federal laws called HIPAA. The right of privacy over your medical records. Your doctor cannot tape you unaware because your medical condition is private. And what they treat you for. They cannot discuss you with anyone else. It is 10 years federal prison if they do, without your consent. And up to $1 million fine per incident. They cannot look up your medical records unless you sign consent, picture ID, and they have to be your doctor. That's why you have to sign a release to go to a specialist at your regular doctor and at the specialist. They can't even look you up. It's a federal crime. They can't show your medical records to anyone else. They can't discuss you with anyone else. These are federal crimes. The HIPAA over your medical records are so strict that even a regular individual cannot break in your home, steal your medical records, and try to use them against you. These people do not know anything. They're a bunch of crackheads and occult people. Now, Agent John last year, and we're going to have a heart-to-heart talk, honey. We haven't talked yet. But someone needs to tell him. Last year, they said they were trying to set up a meeting for him to meet someone. It's like, dear God. I talked to a retired CIA agent up in Akron. I was working for this lady. She's passed now. Okay? She told me she knew about the Texas group. She knew of my case. For someone retired, she would go outside and talk to people after we got done talking. I want you to think about that. She told me, she said, that Texas group, all law enforcement are after them. They've killed agents. All law enforcement are after them. They kill agents. Okay? We talked quite a bit about it. Okay? If they ever wanted you to meet someone, they're going to kill you. Where they trick people into walking out of stores so they can grab you and sell you. They've already called you a fool June 7th, 23, that you fell for their stun tapes before. They called you a coward August 5th of 25 in Dutch Valley Restaurant. They called you a coward. They ever told you they wanted you to meet someone and you think you're going to go undercover and meet this person? It would be a bloodbath. They would kill you as soon as they got you alone. And it would be a setup to kill you. Are you listening to me? Even last year, when they were talking about they were trying to set up to meet someone, people were talking around me, they better not go. It'll be a bloodbath and they'll kill everyone that shows up. We all know they admitted that they know they kill agents, and it'll be a setup to kill them. It'll be a bloodbath. You won't make it out alive. They've already called you a fool and a coward. And like they said, you only live long enough for your usefulness to be done. Now, I want you to think about that stupid little bitch down there laughing. My dad told Agent John how to do it so that he could take it to a judge, even though it was illegal. He could sign it and then sign all the money it over to us. And you think I'd fall for that? For one thing, a judge cannot sign something illegal, and he cannot sign, or she can't sign, what? Something is illegal and something that takes a constitutional right away. Because they would go to jail as an accessory to blackmailing someone. Right? But Agent John, if you thought you were going to go undercover and meet someone there, it's a setup to kill you. People already figured that out right away when they said something about a meeting. People are like, they better not go. Everybody around, they better not go. It'll be a bloodbath. That one agent already, that retired CIA agent said they kill agents. It'll be a bloodbath. No one will make it out alive. I know that. They've already called you a fool and a coward. Don't ever fall for meeting someone. Because like they said, the doctors outside the food court, he'd actually like to meet you in person. Oh, hell no. I found out they said in Maslin that they were grabbing people relocating from Florida and keeping them in rooms running experiments on them. I'm not meeting that bastard. Found somebody to talk to, got on Macy's. Would set it outside of Walmart. The doctor's outside, like to meet you in person. Oh, hell no. He's out that door. Oh, no. Found somebody got talked to and got out the other one. I'm not meeting some bastard. Like they said, they were tricking people to leave a store so they could grab. They would trick you to show up to your own death. Do you understand? Don't ever fall for that. Even people around me last year, no agent better ever show up to any kind of meeting like that. They'd kill them all. I know that. These people dismember people. And where they were having people evaluate people for some psycho doctor that for height, weight, bad habits for a doctor. Even Maddie thinks there's some black marketing organs. Because why would they care if you had a bad habit if they're going to kill you? Exactly. Makes your organs not pliable. Now that we've had a big grown-up talk, don't show up, don't fall for it. It cannot be in a court order that no one can help someone because it's illegal to withhold protection from any U.S. citizen in any jurisdiction. Right on Google, if an FBI agent tries to tell the police or anybody else they can't help someone, they are to go to jail for obstruction and tampering with a witness and could go into attempted murder. So can there be a court order stating that? No. It's a federal crime. These people are bullshitting. Agent John, there was a couple guys around me. And I hate when people show up and say, Agent John said no one can help her. He can't tell people that you are to arrest him. By federal law, you are to arrest him if he says that to your face. You are to arrest him. It's a federal law, you are to arrest him. He can't tell people that no one can help somebody and not to believe him. It's a federal crime. Obstruction, tampering with a witness, and attempted murder. You are to arrest him. And if he says that he has a right to take their money, right on Google, if an FBI agent tries to take an informant's money, it's extortion out of the government. It's 20 to 30 years. They can't withhold their money. Where the police prosecutor's office and a real criminal attorney, he was only bullying you. None of that could be in the court order, but your money and immunity for working the case, and only for working the case. He can't make up his own rules. No judge could sign it. It's illegal. It's federal crimes. So we're going to stop this fucking shit. The Florida drug cartel, so we're Judge Peter's group. I told you I think I've seen the guy that tortured me in Carrollton and on Route 800. Okay? Going towards Magnolia. I have seen some of the riffraff from the case in Carrollton and in Tuscarawas County. Where they were in Stark County, they're down there. I have seen Henry Maffei and the Texas group in Fairlawn. Like these people, investigators said, we all know she knows what the cartel looks and acts like. That's why when people say stuff to me, I report it. I know I have officers around me, but I report it anyways. These people sell children for sex slaves and to be murdered. Now, then the law even states if an attorney sets up button cameras in your home, they are to be disbarred immediately. For a felony evasion of privacy, cyberstalking, voyeurism makes them a sex offender. Wiretapping, illegal monitoring, cyberstalking, sex, you can go into sextortion if they try to get money out of it. Okay? Voyeurism. And they get listed sex offenders. Disbarred. Felony invasion of privacy. If an attorney has you drugged for a fake confessions or fake sodium pentothal reports, it's attempted murder, kidnapping, drug charges, assault with a deadly weapon. They have you beat and raped, it's human trafficking. They are not above the law. There's over 7 attorneys in the last 2 to 3 years in Ohio have been arrested for running fraud schemes on people, stealing millions. 7 attorneys in Ohio alone in the last few years. Now, Agent John, where I called the FBI hotline, the next morning, and I cried my eyes out. Next morning, I had the phone ringing. They drugged me up so bad I couldn't wake up all the way. Rivers of tears running on my face. I kept going like this in my sleep, and my whole face was soaked. Okay? And I kept saying I can't. I don't know why. Let it go to voicemail. Woke up later. I couldn't even stand up straight. I was holding on the wall to get to the bathroom, the refrigerator. Later on, I got back in bed, listened to voicemail. This is Agent. Call me back. I can't. Okay? Second day, I'm not much better. Third day, I made myself get up. I'm sitting on the front porch, holding my head. I feel drunk, and I'm not. And I don't drink. What's wrong with me again? Okay? I finally got enough air in my face. I called one of my witnesses. I gave the hotline. She said she'd witness for me. I went out and bought a card, put that agent's number in it. We went down to the mall. Her manager put it in a locker. Went up to Apostolic Church of Barberton. Paul Paymer got in Dave's face screaming in front of hundreds of people. My God, I had an FBI agent. My office is right there. Okay. I walk off as he's still screaming at him. Echoing. Girls walk up. He knows she's being drug, beaten, raped, and he said he didn't care. I'm covered in bruises, been throwing up, lost 18 pounds, severely infected. Okay? I thought it was the orange well water I was showering. I thought it was giving me cancer. Been going to the doctor all summer long, lost 18 pounds. My heart's sinking in my stomach, where I thought it was the well water killing me. I go in and sit down, And they follow me and they sit down. He knows she's being drugged, beaten, raped, and he said he didn't care. If she was going to be faking, she was sex strangers lie to cover up Tim and Katie. He didn't care what they did to her. And if she was going to be mean to their women, I wasn't mean to anybody. They were lying. He was going to turn her back over to him. It is illegal for a federal agent to turn someone back over to someone to harm. It's attempted murder. Can you imagine an agent saying that? Day comes in, let's go, we get out there, he threatens to kill me himself, he goes for a loaded gun. Put my hand on the console, he beat me all the way home. Okay? I ran from him. Next morning, River, a tear scared out of my mind. I called that agent back. I told him someone told on me. You liar. I told him about the guy that threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle. He calls me a liar. He's not allowed to call me a liar. Badgering laws. Police and agents have to take your statement, if they believe you or not. Believe you or not. And follow through. And go out and get the evidence. They're never allowed to call you a liar when you're given a statement. It is a federal crime of tampering with a witness and obstruction to justice. You go to jail. I dated an officer for a short time. He said you can never call anyone a liar. When they go to give a statement, you have to take their statement and follow through if you believe them or not. If you call them a liar, you lose your badge immediately. If they prove you called them a liar, you go to jail for 20 years for badgering, obstruction of justice, and tampering with witnesses. I said that's the word I'm looking for. On a recorded line, I tell that agent that about the guy that threatened to knife me, calls me a liar. Starts screaming about a camera above the bench. I said, I don't know if there was. I said, well, he tried to kidnap me before. He calls me a liar and says, oh, come on now. Even if a church person seen him, they wouldn't verify it. That's why I didn't tell him about Terry Coberly. She did verify it. He said, I've met with that family in my office. The one already confessed March 27, 25, that they were lying to people, that it offended them, that Strange called me a liar 6 months after a traffic accident I had nothing to do with. Called me a faker when it was a medication error, medical malpractice, and medical fraud, and I almost died. And it took me 9 months to get well. And in the middle of it, her father is speeding and runs a stop sign into a semi, kills himself and their son. I wasn't even there. 6 months later, a minister calls me a faker because he thought I was following his son Tim with his girl mistress Katie against my sister. It was my sister following her husband. And he made up a baby lie on me and to get rid of me real quick and push my kid to suicide. And Danny was in treatment for 2 years. And it's documented in Stark County. They found the court records in October of 23, where Child and Adolescent Center, Georgine Vovuso, Linda, the Crisis Center, and a Stark County psychiatrist for the Child and Adolescent Center. That Strange took him that day, screamed at him on the pulpit until he passed out, screamed at him until he did what he was told. He couldn't remember half the day. That's why he tried to kill himself twice. Had to be in counseling, medication for 2 years. They found it in 23. So those people that her father killed her kid in May 3rd, 2003. Come November of 2003, Strange calls me a faker after I had 6 to 10 surgeries. My muscles locked up. I went to a bunch of crackpots because I was in a lot of pain trying to get better. And they falsely diagnosed me, gave me a bunch of wrong meds, seizures, heart attacks, thyroid, adrenal gland shut down, my whole body swelled up. And they were lying so bad, they even said I had level 2 brain tumors, want to do brain surgery. There's nothing wrong with me, but my muscles clenched from the surgery. And my community health documented 2002, like October, November, that it's fraud, medical malpractice, and medication errors. They were all lying. Only thing was wrong with me is my muscles locked up. Got with Dr. Eli, got on fentanyl patches. They don't get fentanyl to fakers. That's part of cancer. But like you said, your muscles are locked so tight. The only way to get them to unlock is move them. But you got to get out of pain enough to move them. And it took me 9 months to get well. In the middle of me getting well, there's a church baseball game, and this idiot speeding with his grandkid in the car, and I'm not even there, runs a stop sign in a semi and kills them both. Had nothing to do with me, and I had nothing to do with them. And I didn't finish getting well till July. It took me 9 months. So come November, 6 months after a traffic accident, I had nothing to do. Somebody calling me a faker, you'd have to be a moron to fall for it. From the surgeries to the medical malpractice to the 9 months of getting well, it was 4 or 5 years ordeal. It had nothing to do with her father murdering her kid. So him calling me a faker through that, trying to get rid of me real quick? Pushed my kid to suicide, make sure I wouldn't come back? Because he thought I was following his son and his mistress, and was my sister following her husband? Cheating on her? His son? Of course it had nothing to do with them. Didn't even concern them. Like they said, they lied to people so they'd help out. They manipulated people. Telling them, oh, it offended us, help kill her. 15 years ago, when the case started, it was 2018. They had to hunt me down. I didn't even go to their church. Realize how sick that is? On a made-up baby lie. And how he had that family in his office, the one that murdered, their father murdered their kid. They're in there lying. They confessed March 27, 25 to an agent that they were lying. It didn't even concern them that Strange calling her a faker. Lisa's father killed her kid. She wasn't even there. It was 6 months later. They were lying so people would help out. You mean the big liars were in your office. And all the other church people lying because they thought they could fool a federal agent. Get you doing crimes they could blackmail you. The whole setup was to get you. They were after you the whole time. They already confessed that in 22. You were the target, not me. I was just a pawn. They were after you personally. And how met with that family in his office that was lying and all the church people that were lying. And he knew they were trying to kill me because the strangers lie. Calling me a faker. I said I really was sick before. You liar. Was there a camera above the bench or not? I don't know. You say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. I'll come up there and arrest you. You hear me? And it's like, fine, whatever. Ha, 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 ha. Like the lady investigator, March 5th, 25, Magnolia Bell Store. That agent sending out those emails or him calling her a liar and ordering her to say she was lying and bullying her like that and then laughing at her like pure evil. Sounded like pure evil coming from him. I know it did. Sounded like Satan himself. Then he said, I want you to say you were faking you were sick. Like a criminal attorney said. You can't fake that shit. You can't fake that shit. I said, I really was sick before. You liar. How he met with the family that already confessed to a federal cop. They were lying. To manipulate people to help kill people. And all those church people that were lying to him too, that were setting up that agent to be arrested so they could extort money from the government. You mean the extortion group was in there? And how he knew they were trying to kill me because the strangers lie. Cover up Tim and Katie. I said I really was sick before. You liar. You need to realize what you've done And I don't blame him for trying to kill you. He actually said that on a recorded line. I said, I really was sick before you say you were faking or I'll leave you there. I said, but they'll kill me. You either say it or I'll leave you there. Please don't let him kill me. And I'm begging for my life. Say it or I'll leave you there. It's like, fine, just don't let them kill me. Ha 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 ha. Why would the FBI help a person like you? Well, they're going to try to kill me. So, they've tried to kill me. So, the other agent said, well, we could always use Pete's tape a word with yourself. The only Pete I know is my brother in Medina. I haven't talked to him in years. And I talked to him on the phone. I said, that's it. You know, and the only Pete I know is my brother. I haven't seen him in years. I only talked to him on the phone. I said, what are you talking about? He starts laughing. She don't know. Says something else. Never. And I don't know this Pete that he's talking about. It has to be a black and blue mark. The hypnotic drugs and told us that. Hmm. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. He starts laughing. I bet you're going to say you don't know anything about the psychiatrist for a sexual disorder of one of your brother. At that point, I was ready to scream at him, why don't you stop lying? And I thought, why had that other lady use my insurance for 15 years? I thought maybe it was one of hers. No, it's just a scam. And it's Dave's girlfriend's dad punking everybody. They could never have a doctor with him because of HIPAA. Could never say anything. I've never seen a psychiatrist for a sexual disorder and never wanted my brother. That's disgusting. I don't think Dave's crack-headed girlfriend and her drug-dealing dad running scams on people are funny. You want to put it that way? I don't find him funny. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. He's laughing. Stop. She don't know. And he said, give me a real reason. My brother-in-law, Craig Davis, worked at the Pentagon under Dick Cheney. He was a private consultant for the FBI, unrestricted in war weapons, spyware, and traveled the world undercover. And his one boss was a spook. Okay? His name was Craig Davis. Died March 26, 1990, something like that. All right. He said, well, have you talked to any law enforcement about the threats on your life? I said, the only two officers I've talked to was August 8 of 18, a light in the security system. At midnight, I only had 3 cameras on the outside. One to the front porch, side yard, back porch. We had nothing inside. I said there was a light in the outside camera, and I called 911 at midnight, and they came out and they were silly. They said it looked like an alien orb, angry spirit, and told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. You're kidding, right? I said no, they didn't want bothered, and I've never even had my neighbors in my home. I've only had family repair guys, installation guys, and those officers that were silly. Is that what's going on? He said, do you know if Dave's cheating? I said, I've never caught him. Dave verified it December 9th, 18. I never caught him with anyone. Okay, he's laughing at me. She said she never caught him. Well, so did Dave. He said I could take you somewhere and leave you with no money. I don't have any money to start. He said, well, if you agree to get information on Dave and the churches, he said, and find out who's behind these threats and attempts, I can open an informant case. I said, I can do that. He said, it comes with like $5,000 a month. He said, I'll load the money on the card today. He said, you'll have a life of peace as an informant. Nothing legally stated dated against you ever again for working in this case. And we'll always put it back as if it never happened. You can't be legally charged for anything ever again for working in this case. You have that money to live on. Admit to no wrongdoing, and I'll take care of everything in the end. But if you try to tell someone, I'll tell people you're crazy, and the FBI won't help you. He said, but if you need help, my best friend is the chief of police at Canton, and he's a really good man, and you can trust him. He always makes sure that the Canton police protect you. What is wrong with that statement with the laws? He can't tell on somebody for calling for help. He can't bully people into saying they're lying. I think the thing of calling me a liar and threatening to arrest me is a federal crime. It cannot even be in a statement, even a suggestion of me. My honesty or integrity cannot be questioned during a statement. It is a federal crime of 20 years of badgering a victim and obstruction to justice and tampering with a witness. Okay? He cannot aid and abet crimes that people are trying to kill someone. He cannot tell on a victim for calling for help. He cannot bully people into false statements. It's obstruction and tampering with a witness. And he cannot tell someone, especially after he admitted everybody knew, and then he don't have the authority, and it is a federal crime of blackmail. If he tells someone they can't say anything, he doesn't have that kind of authority. He is only a federal police officer, and only a police officer. It takes a judge and no jury trial, First Amendment. No judge could sign it because it's blackmail. You can't bully someone to go along with anything under threats. It is a federal crime of blackmail. And then he don't have authority to say it is a federal crime. Tampering with witnesses and evidence. And blackmailing them. And he can't tell anybody they can't help anybody. It's a federal crime of tampering with witnesses, obstruction of justice, aiding and abetting crimes, and it can go into attempted murder. And you cannot withhold any protection from any U.S. citizen from any jurisdiction. They cannot even withhold protection in federal prisons from other prisoners. That's why we have guards. Do we understand? Starting to think how I talked to a criminal attorney who went, he can't talk to you like that. That's illegal. He can't bully you into false statements under threats. He can't tell you can't say anything. He can't talk to you that way. He's only bullying you. He cannot withhold your money. He can't misdirect it. You get the money for risking your life to get them information, and only that. You get it for the rest of your life. You stay in immunity for the rest of your life. He can't do any of the other. That's what my friend from the Stark County Prosecutor's Office, he's only bullying you. It can't be in a court order. No judge could sign that. The judge would go to jail. See where that idiot girl from the Florida group screaming, my dad explained it to a judge, and because he got her to go along with any of that, they could sign it and sign all of her money over to us. I'm not that stupid bitch. No judge could sign it. That money is still legally mine. And he cannot withhold it. He can't misdirect it. He can't make up his own rules. He can't tell people they can't help me. So where people say, oh, Agent John said no one can help me, you can't tell him. You arrest him for attempted murder, obstruction, and tampering with a witness. Arrest him for stealing out of federal funds. Like they said, if an FBI agent tries to not pay an informant, it's extortion out of government funds. It's only meant for the informant. Google. Talk to the police too. Sheriff David Mike DeWine's cousin wanted to know why our police didn't arrest him. Sheriff Joe in Florida was cussing like a sailor. Agent John There is people investigating you. And then there were supposed to be 2 men down at the courthouse. They were March 5th, 26 in Bell Store. They said they were agents trying to get your case thrown out, calling it fraud, and then trying to say that she's the biggest liar. They couldn't find anybody around me. Everybody's to get even with me. Law can't get even with you. That is abuse of power and obstruction to justice and tampering with witnesses and evidence. It's a federal crime for law enforcement to get even with you. Then I walked by a door and one of those weirdos had the right to do those things, sir. No, you didn't. Then there was a guy in the prosecutor's office. I want her to hate her husband. I want her to have nothing when I get done with her. These are people my ex-husband hired on his own. And more likely it was that Henry Moffey and that guy Pete he's supposed to hire. I haven't met him in person. I've seen that Henry Moffey. Never talked to him in person. Never met him in person. So, I want you to think about that. I don't know him. I told you, Instagram, after I called the FBI within the first 2 months, some guy texts me, I think you're beautiful. It's like, thanks. Says something about love on a beach. I don't know, you're weird. I don't know you. And then people were talking about him in stores. I thought, that's weird. That's the name of that guy that texts me. And then what? Starts driving by with people that say they're drug traders from Florida. Or for Judge Peters. He's with the Florida drug cartel. I don't know him. Then they said how he was leaving insults on me. I don't know him. Then January 1926 comes in, Bob Evans. How he was the one that got a hold of me online, tried to prove to my ex-husband I was cheating. That's not me cheating, that's you weird. Found out Dave was dating your daughter, Michelle. This whole thing's your family's drug debt to drug dealers. You're trying to extort money from the government to pay off drug debts. And he said, she dances around the car with her husband like a little kid. The officers for the case only watch her because they feel sorry for her. They like me and there's a court order. He said, I'm glad I never met her in person. And I thought, you wouldn't have got a pity date. I tell all men she's not good enough for another man. It's like, fuck you. And he's sitting in the Bob Evans confessing. And he said, I'm the one that told her new husband's family I'd steal everything for them. Found out his son was down there vandalizing things on the farm. I told him stay out of it. I'll steal everything for them. Theft out of the elderly, that's a federal crime. Well, not only is it extortion, it's extortion of the elderly. FBI does get you for that. He said, I found out, now there's another Michelle involved. There's a real pretty Michelle with long blonde hair. Carl seen her April 17th, 25, where March 27th, 25, an agent had dated her on a ruse and got it out of her that the doctor from before was not one of mine, works for them, and they had lied. And she'd actually don't know who he is. Okay? And when they bashed in her head, they tried to kill her, leave her incompetent. Well, she told on him and they've been threatening to kill her. And she went badass on him. Been telling on all of them. And he had got my ex-husband, a girlfriend from before me, made him marry me so he could have a job at my dad's factory and she'd have free insurance. The woman using my insurance was another girlfriend of his. He got it out of that family. Why on earth would you say it offended you when she had nothing to do with that traffic accident? And it's 6 months later, and he just calls her a faker. Said it didn't even concern him. Lisa's father killed her kid. They just lied so people would help out. Okay? Well, she has a meltdown April 17th, 25, and Carl heard her in the middle of Sheet's parking lot. Because that guy broke up with her. All right. Well, she's been going badass on him. December 1st, 25, where he said, I found out the other Michelle's telling on us for what we're actually doing. It's like, thank you for confessing. My God, she's telling on you. When they got an investigator shows up December 1st, 25. Michelle showed up at my office, told me that these people admitted November 23rd, 25, actually, in Summit Mall downstairs in Macy's, that this whole thing is a scam to extort money from the government. Her ex-husband was involved, and that the doctor from before is not one of hers, works for them, and they had lied, and she doesn't know who he is. And that guy Pete that's running his mouth about her in my office. She doesn't even know who he is. Just some guy Dave hired on his own. Hmm? And they admitted to using hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before, and she has no memory of these people. And the tape of Weird with Yourself is a shower scene in the other room of washing yourself. And the whole thing's a scam to extort money from the government. Yeah, she told on you. Well, getting back to Henry Mafia on January 1926, he said, I got a judge's friend that will honor everything in court from the tape of Weird with Yourself to, which is a shower scene in the other room, in the drug confessions, and enter everything in court when, while the FBI is busy with Minnesota, have everything turned over me, and I'll be long gone and steal all the cases money for the FBI realizes what's happening. I'll pull fast one up. So words. He's trying to pull a fast one on the FBI and steal from him. I wrote the president and I wrote FBI Internal Affairs. September 30th, 25, 1 o'clock in the morning, my car is bugged by the FBI and police, and these people, where they said Will sold the login for $25 a pop, sold the first month of the case too. Went nationwide. I can go in other states, they mention the case. M13 is now live stream protected custody cases. That guy Will, which they call Henry Mafia Will too. I found out last week he's the one impersonating the dirty doctor. And people are horrified because they actually fell for someone breaking HIPAA, which is a federal crime. It's just Dave's girlfriend's dad. Because if you take September 30th, 25, a biker yelling at this girl, the guys running it said no one's to say a word to her in her life. Said they found out this whole thing is your family's debt to drug dealers. Is that what's going on? Yes, yes. Does she even know who you are? No, I don't want her to know. She doesn't even know who you are, and you had her skull bashed in, her raped and tortured because your family is in debt to drug dealers. Yes, I'm sorry. I listened to her friend Matt and her talk January 13th, 23, that the Ohio drug dealers was threatening that agent's life, thinking he let all those people be human trafficked, and it was your family letting them to be human trafficked? Yes. And she said, and your family even human trafficked people to pay off those drug dealers? Yes, I'm sorry. She sold children and she's sorry. Was your family inciting her new husband's father? Or, wait a minute. It was your family inciting her new husband's family to threaten him to steal everything he had, including his farm. And she said, yes, but I really wanted it. Did you know in September 23, the original cartel already admitted they photoshopped everything? Yeah, I knew that. Did you know the original cartel already confronted her ex-husband if he knew if it was fraud, medical malpractice, and medication errors that made her sick before, and they told him to sue those doctors for years over that? Yeah, I knew it. It's like hell breaking loose outside. So if it's her family that wants the farm. And he's saying he's the one, and they're the ones inciting Carl's family. That's her dad. Then if you go right for the case, Nita and Pam were talking at Apostolic Church of Barberton about Mary's niece, Michelle, was so excited for the opportunity to date someone like Dave should be willing to kill someone. Dave was so excited he um, never had anybody willing to kill someone just to date him. That poor family that's in debt needs Dave's help. She was the one that showed up at the family church with Judge Peter's group from Florida. She told people she was retired Judge Pete's daughter, friends with Ludick, letting him get away with crimes. And then she was FBI Agent Will's daughter. Here she's just Mary's niece. I asked the Portage County Sheriff if they knew retired Judge Pete. Didn't even know who he was. He's made up. They asked Ludick. He didn't know who he was because he's made up. Dixie knew her as retired Judge Pete's daughter. When I told her there's no retired Judge Pete and it was a scam, she laughed. Yeah. It's just Katie's family. Dave's, Tim Strange's son, his side girlfriend, her family, running drug scams on the government that are messed up in drugs. And Pam being involved. Anita's her aunt. Get the idea? 3,000 people seen them. Faith Family Church. Now, do I find this funny? And do you know how much it makes me mad? Oh, they're going to get her for taking advantage of that old man. You know, I won't let Carl's family kill him. He's a nice man. We were friends for 2 years before we started dating. Come July, we've been together for 2 years. We've been married next week a whole year. We've been together come July 2 years. Friends for 3 to 4. These people incited him to threaten to bash Carl's skull in, kidnap him, take him out to Youngstown, have him found incompetent, steal from him. They threatened to murder him and me and steal everything we got. They broke in our home, stole paperwork, impersonated him, got into our checking account. They were playing with our food in our home. We're getting sick on like coffee. I found a cap off of milk where they had done that. We dumped that one out real quick. They poisoned a cat down on his farm and beat a horse and tried to bring Carl, and he hadn't been there. And the Humane Society let my son Danny take the horse, get it medical treatment, and Carl's daughter Desi, it was her horse and her cat. She was going to get $1,000 fine, and he had told his other daughter Audrey if he had to get his dad arrested to steal his farm, he would. They incite people to become pure evil, to steal from other people. Carl was so mad, he ripped up every picture of his son. He said, I never want to look at him ever again in this life. He's no longer my son, threatening to kill me and beating that poor horse and poisoning that little cat. And threatening to kill you. He is no longer my son. And I want nothing to do with him. He's told 2 other people now that he's going to kill Carl. He gets a hold of him. Told Audrey he didn't know how he was going to kill him, but he was going to kill him. That's 4 people. He told Carl, he told Audrey, he told Desi and her friend. He was talking to somebody on the phone saying how he's going to kill him. He gets a hold of him, he'll kill him. That's what Henry Mafia and that Michelle put people up to. Now they're stealing from 80-year-olds. And they have the nerve to say that I take advantage of them. You know that Rick left a voicemail? Now, I never had him in my apartment. He broke in my apartment, minute on a record line. He stole paperwork from my home. Said he don't need that big TV. Don't tell me what to buy my husband. When I got together with Carl, he had ripped up ragged shoes. His other stepdaughter took him for all kinds of money. Said he didn't need shoes. I bought him shoes. Didn't have a decent coat. I bought him. Hats, scarves, socks. His socks had holes in it. He didn't even have decent shoes, and he didn't have a decent coat. They didn't think he had needed to have the main necessities for life. They even told me he didn't even need nutrition food. Since I got in his life, his A1C went from 9.9 to 7.9. And I'm hoping tomorrow is going to even be a lot better. His blood work is equivalent to a 40-year-old at 80. And they will not kill my husband. I told him I will protect him as much as possible. And anybody in the world can help me. And the day that you let the drug cartel tell you that you can't help someone, you're no longer a cop. You're not even a human being. You're a mindless boob that some drug dealer can control. And if some federal cop tries to tell someone they can't help a victim, you call the FBI and you report them that this man is abusing his authority, and trying to aid and abet helping kill this poor victim. Come get someone down here and arrest him. And these people are breaking. He took a payoff and a bribe to let her die and let people get killed here. He's dangerous and needs arrested. See, there's a point in time, Agent John, it's either an act and they're all lying on you and they got you for that recorded line, or you're the most dangerous criminal in the world. And they got you and they're going where they told you a few years ago that you were actually the target, where they were only using me as a pawn and they were going to take you out. They taped you. And I've been praying for you. And I've been Ravenna in January of 19. They said, we all know about that one guy. He thinks it's funny killing people. He thinks it's funny trying to kill people. And the only way to beat him is to do the right thing. He's always watching, waiting for people to make a mistake, and then he's got you. He thinks everybody's corrupt. He banked everything on it that no one would do right in this. And the only way to beat him is to do the right thing. You want to beat Henry Maffei? That guy Pete? Where they said last year she's either a paid informant. He stands up for the case. Or he was defrauding her the whole time. We want the case thrown out. We want Judge Peters released from Florida, his men, and all the other cartels and anything leading to the arrest of any drug cartel released. And then we're going to sue the government for false arrest on a fraud. He was defrauding that girl. They told you they were setting you up to be arrested from the beginning. They taped you bullying me. And they're sending out emails supposed to be from you. And they were supposed to be federal agents in that courthouse bad-mouthing me on September 10th, 25. Trying to get the case thrown out, calling it fraud. They didn't know what the case was. Someone needs a bullet. Agent John, I've been praying for you. I have, honestly, because those drug cartel dealers get released. It won't be one that dies. It'll be thousands. Because you got thousands, and the marshals got thousands that were connected to them that showed up here. Saved hundreds of lives. And human traffickers will be released back into society. And they'll be the ones suing the government for thousands. The woman you betrayed is praying for you. And I'm praying God helps you do what's right. They got you set up for 100 years in jail. All you have to say is you were scamming them. Of course I'm going to pay Karen. Of course she's one of my informants. Of course my case is legit. Do you know if an FBI agent calls their case fraud and tries to get it thrown out, it's 5 to 20 years? I look at this in horror. And I pray for you all the time that you step up and do what's right. But my God, someone does need to arrest you if you are actually became this evil. They can never have my money. No judge could sign it over to them. These people are all lying. He can't withhold my money. He can't misdirect it. He can't tell anybody. They can't say anything. These are federal crimes. All you have to do, and my heart's heart, I was hoping one day he'd send Officer John and Mark over with my money and a letter of thank you. And we'll still keep an eye on you, make sure they don't hire anybody else. Sorry I put you through this, but my God, look at all the drug cartel we got. And all the people we saved. Thank you so much. I thought you would do the right thing. on your own. And it makes my stomach hurt. The thought, the only reason why you would do right by me is because people are threatening to put you in jail because they can hold it over your head and get you arrested for not, because they were setting you up to go to jail the whole time. It makes me sick. I almost died to save my family. I was raped. I was tortured July to September 19, 12, 21, 18. I was stabbed in the neck, bashed in the head, back of the head, beaten, raped, and left for dead. It should have killed me. Suffered of migraines for 3 years. I was human trafficked. I was drugged till I lost 70 pounds, induced vomiting until my stomach shifted on my ribs. I was beat in my stomach until they almost ruptured my intestine. I have large pouching in my intestines. I was raped. I was tortured. And they took turns. I was almost shot in the head driving. I had a hideout on a shooting night. Faced 6 stalkers. I lived through hell. Well, you got surveillance on these people. Got Judge Peters out of Florida. Kingsman from Texas. Got a lot of them. You got California, Buffalo, New York, Michigan. You saved hundreds of lives. The FBI Drug and Task Force in Kansas won awards on the cartel they got off this. Government's going to be mad. Those awards go back. A lot of people lose their jobs. And thousands could die. I fear for the children when these people get out. And if they get out on a technicality that they're blackmailing you. All I have to do is turn around on them. When they made fun of you June 7th, 23, how they fooled you with a stun of tapes before and they were mocking you in Walmart 62. Katie's sister Jody. And then they dared the FBI July 9th, 23. People were like, that guy Pete, he better watch it. That agent has him nailed for all these crimes and he can turn it around on him in a heartbeat. Turn around on him, Agent John. That you were just acting that way to get the drug dealers. You were to find out who all was involved with this. It was an act. We're sorry you put Karen through it. Of course, we're going to pay her. Of course, she's one of our informants. Of course, our cases were legit. Don't open them up for our cases. That's a federal crime. Never defraud somebody of their money. Turn it around, Agent John. Turn it around. And I will not tolerate these people ever saying that I take advantage of Carl when I take really good care of him. The people that have admitted they almost beat him to death took about all his money, took a lot of his money, got over 60 grand in canceled checks, or cash checks. These people admitted, even under surveillance, they took enough to buy a house and blew it. Never paid him back. And these people didn't even think he deserved shoes, clothing, or good food. And then the other one tried to kill him for his farm. And he's bragging how he's gonna have his father murdered to steal from him. Bastards get nothing. I take really good care of Carl. He's got healthier with me in his life. They're just mad they can't rob him and kill him. I'm gonna upload this.